Hello manga and anime lovers, I'm Branch, and today I'm going to be talking about Dandadan Episode 5. That's it, this is my favorite episode of the first season. Hands down, no questions asked, no second thoughts. This is my favorite episode of Dandadan so far. And mostly it's because I really like slice of life, romance, comedy stuff. More so than I do action, although I don't dislike action, but good romance, comedy, slice of life will always trump good action in my book. And this episode was nothing but the best quality romance slice of life in comedy. So you can understand why it's my favorite. This whole 24 minutes just cements why Momo and Okono are one of my favorite pairs of leading characters in anime in total, and maybe in all of fiction. And it's mostly just how the show's written and how it's animated and how it's voice acted. The presentation is everything. Watching them awkwardly pander around each other and pitter-patter and try and gauge each other's reactions and wanting to talk to each other, but at the same time not knowing how to interact, and then looking all over the school for each other and getting super insecure because they think the other's avoiding them. Not gonna lie, that's exactly how I feel with most people when I have any form of relationship with them. Whether it's coworkers, friends, whatever, family even, it's easy to get into your head and try to assume what they feel, which is why it's really important to talk things out, which eventually at the end of the episode they wound up doing, because there was a bunch of stuff happen, but they had a little bit of a disagreement, and then Momo realized how silly she was being and made up with Okurun. It's just really nice to see, especially the whole sequence where they're looking past each other while they're trying to find each other the entire school day. And then they finally do by accident, and they run into each other and they bump their front teeth. That made me feel pain because it hurts when you hit your front teeth. Like, I've only hit it with a spoon, but I can't imagine ramming. I don't even know if that's possible with your nose in the way, but if it is, I would never want to do that. That would be, it would hurt so much. But also, I liked seeing more of Momo's friends that we saw in the first episode, and multiplied throughout the episode. Apparently, she's friends with the whole class. And honestly, her class seems a lot more interesting than Okunun's class, because Okunun's class is full of petty people who make fun of him the entire time. But it was nice to see how he doesn't really care, because now he has someone who he can interact with, so he doesn't, it does hurt him a little bit, but he's able to ignore it and just look past it. Unlike in the first episode when he was hunkered down and, really quiet. Although it's mostly a change in perspective. But then we get introduced to this pink-haired girl who I don't know the name of. And it's really, really, I don't want to say nasty because she doesn't actually do anything. She's just talking a lot of trash about Okurun behind his back after being nice to him. She's very petty, I guess you could say. Not a very deep person. I assume there's going to be more to her than what we've seen just now because they chose to highlight her so much and her hair is pink, so she stands out. She's probably a main character or a side character. But it's just very nice and satisfying that when she's talking about Okurun behind his back and, saying all the things she does, and Momo hears her. And you can see her getting angry, even though you never see her face. And it's one of my favorite parts of the episode because you just see the back of her head and the side of her cheek a little bit as she's turned a little bit, while she's listening to these two girls yap on in the background. And yet you can see her annoyance and her anger getting the better of her. And it comes to a head when they finish what they're saying. And you can see her eyes blink because you can just see her eyelashes. And then she throws the wash tub on top of the girl's head and literally knocks her out. And I just thought that was a great way to wind down this part of the episode. And then we get to the second part of the episode where, as I expected, it turned out the Turbo Granny is alive and well, and she just managed to hide inside of Okunun. They pull her out into this cat doll, and now we know who the cat doll is in the ending. It is the main antagonist, ? Probably not main antagonist anymore because she can't really do anything. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I like it. That's how I feel about it. But I'm really interested to see how things will play out in the future. Because it turns out Okunun does not have all his important parts back yet. He is missing two very important parts, and the granny dropped them. So now it's going to be a treasure hunt for the two-piece to find Okunun's two-piece. Yeah, I could see this show going that way. You know what? And I'm all for it. I think I'm really going to like Turbo Granny going forward in all their interactions. Now, that's really all I have to say on the episode as a whole. I mean, a lot of good things. But one thing I did want to mention that I didn't pick up on last time is the nature of Turbo Granny, because Momo touches on it this time where she says she can't really be mad at her too much because At the end of the day, Turbo Granny was a spirit protecting all the poor tortured souls of these women who were assaulted and killed and left in the tunnel to die. Well, they already did, but And she's a protector, kind of. And you can really see that in the way that she attacks her victims, where she robs men of their reproductive organs. And you see, it all makes sense why she does that if her purpose as a spirit is to protect women who are victims of men. And it also makes sense as to why Okunun was able to use her, or vice versa, to go through the phone and save Momo in episode 1, because Momo was about to be assaulted. I mean, a little bit different. I think she was about to be mutilated, but actually that's not too much different from what happened to the victims in the tunnel. I'm beginning to see the deeper themes and messagings and the deeper narrative plots being woven throughout this show, or should I say character plots, because that seems more what it is. And I'm really beginning to appreciate it. But that's really all I have to say on this episode. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.